Y'all seem to be enjoying my story time, so here's another one. So when I was in school, one of the first things I'd do every school year was befriend my bus drivers, because the one person you needed to have as an ally through the school year was a bus driver. So, like, I'd bring them candy, they got thermoses of hot chocolate in the morning when it was cold, like, I'd wish them happy birthdays, I'd remember when their kids' birthdays was, like, the full 9 yards, right? So I could get away with some pretty hefty shit on the bus. And there was a period of time when I was in, like, elementary and middle school where my brother and I rode the same bus because we went to the same school because we were only about 3 years apart. And my brother, also being neurodivergent, he's dyslexic, had his fair share of bullies as well. And if you're somebody with a sibling, then you know the drill. Only you are allowed to fuck with your siblings. Nobody else has the right. That is your personal punching bag, and anybody else who tries has chosen death. So you can hazard a guess as to how much I liked my brother's bullies. Well, one year, back in elementary school, my brother got this really cool animatronic tarantula that was basically an RC car, but, like, make it a spider type situation. And he loved this thing. It was, like, his favorite gift he had gotten that year, and he wanted to take it to school to show his friends. Well, when we got on the bus, he started, like, having it run up and down the aisle of the bus because he wanted to show his friends on the bus before he showed his friends at school. And one of the bullies decided to go, "Oh my god, spider!" and stomp on it. I fucking saw red. I was pissed, so I started plotting my revenge. Well, you see, in order to get to our school, our bus route took the interstate, and our bus driver never looked back to check on us when we were on the interstate because they didn't want to cause an accident. So I waited till we'd been on the interstate for about 2 minutes, so that I knew the bus driver wasn't going to turn around and look to see what was going on. Then I got up, and I walked down the aisle, and stopped in front of the seat of the kid who had broken my brother's toy. And I didn't give him time to do shit. I just grabbed his ass and slammed his face into the side of the bus. And because he was the bully, he had no one to back him up when I slammed his ass into the side of the bus and then knelt on him so he couldn't get up. So nobody came to his rescue when I started opening the window, and he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was like, "This." And I grabbed his backpack and dumped that shit all over the interstate. He was so upset. He was like, "No, my homework, my iPod, my stuff was in there." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the fucking point. Mess with my brother again and you'll go out the window next." He tried to get me in trouble when we stopped eventually at the school. He went up to the bus driver who was like, "Hey, he threw my stuff out the window." And the bus driver was like, "Adrian, did you throw his stuff out the window?" And I was like, "What? No. Why would I do that? What reason would I have to do that?" And the bus driver was like, "That's what I thought. That's a good kid. He wouldn't do that. You're lying to me." I had all the teachers convinced that he was just lying to get out of turning in homework he didn't do. And nobody could prove that I had done it because this was before they installed cameras on buses. And he never fucked with my brother again. He left him alone after that because he was afraid to go out on the interstate. This is the story of how I turned my entire class against a bully after only being in school for a week. 3 things you need to know about this story for it to make sense. First, I had just moved to this school and it was not the beginning of the year, so like, I was the new kid. Second, as part of my IEP, in order to entice me to behave better, if I behaved well, I could get a prize at the end of the day. And this prize could range from anything from a piece of candy to a small toy. And one of the prizes I could get was a scoop of popcorn in the popcorn jar. Basically what that was is there was this jar that sat on a shelf in the classroom. And if the teacher thought we did something really awesome, like everyone got A's on a test, she would take a little scoop and she would scoop up some popcorn kernels from a bag, and she would dump them into this jar. And when the jar filled with popcorn kernels, we got a popcorn party. And so being the new kid and wanting the other kids to like me, at the end of the day when they asked me what I wanted for my prize, I would say I wanted a scoop of popcorn in the popcorn jar. And the kids would just go fucking wild for it. And we were only like 3 scoops away from a popcorn party when this happened. The third being, I was raised by 2 actors. My mother and father were both actors, and I spent a lot of my days at a theater. So I knew how to do things like stage fighting and stage fainting and crying on cue. Now that you know all that, let's get into the story. This whole thing started at recess. I was outside, minding my business, playing in the wood chips. I was making little fairy houses with wood chips because I hadn't made any friends to play with yet, so fairy houses it was. And this bitch Daria, who I had been warned to stay away from because nobody liked her because she had a reputation for being a bully, comes over and stands in front of me in my little fairy house of wood chips. And I registered there were shoes in front of my wood chip house, so I kind of looked up and I was like, "Oh, hi, what can I do for you?" And this bitch leans down and goes, "You know, you should just go back to where you came from because nobody actually likes you and they all think you're really weird. They're only being nice to you because they want a popcorn party. You're not special." And I was just kind of like, "Oh, that's an opinion you have." Anything else I can do for you? No? Okay, I'm gonna go back to my wood chips. Thanks. And ignored her, and she just kind of walked away, feeling like she had accomplished something. But little did she know, I spent the entire rest of recess planning her demise. Social demise. I should clarify, social demise. I didn't kill her. I just made everybody like her a lot less than they had originally. But to know how I did that, you'll have to find out in part 2. Yeah, sorry. While 3-minute videos are substantially longer, they just simply aren't long enough to contain the entirety of my wrath. That time I turned my class against my bully, part 2. Anyways, Darius says that mean shit, and I'm like, that wasn't nice, and I go back to my wood chips, and I start plotting my revenge. Had I been any other kid, I might have just curled up and cried and accepted that I was weird and nobody would ever like me. But I had anger issues and far too much theater knowledge. So I didn't do that. I waited till there was about 5, maybe 10 minutes left of recess and got up and stuck my face in as many blooming plants as I could because I was allergic to pollen. And I wanted my face to be red and puffy, like I'd been crying. You see where this is going? Once I was nice and snotty, I went over and I grabbed some dirt and smeared it on my face. Then I reached up and fucked with my hair a bit. I was wearing these really cute pigtails that I decided to fuck with, so it looked like my hair might have been pulled. And then I went over to the doors where the teachers were going to line up kids for, going in for recess, and I sat down and curled up against the doors and slumped my shoulders and just kind of looked down and looked sad and dejected. And as kids lined up and saw me looking pitiful, they were like, "Adrian, what's wrong? What happened? Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. Nothing happened. I'm okay, guys. You don't need to worry about me. I'm okay." And we all went inside. And I made a beeline to my desk and went and sat down and slumped my shoulders. And then I quivered my lip and sniffled. And then I put my head down in my arms and cried. And suddenly all the kids in class were on red alert because who fucking made the kid who gets us popcorn parties cry? Who did it? And some of the girls from the class came over and were like, Adrian, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And I was like, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. And they're like, it's okay. Just tell us what happened. Nobody will be in trouble. And I was like, well, Daria said that I should just go back to where I came from because nobody actually likes me and you all think I'm weird and you're just being nice to me so that I'll get you a popcorn party because I'm not special. And they were like, she said, what? And if you have never seen 20 middle schoolers turn to glare at somebody, it is a fucking experience. It's terrifying. 2 of the girls who had come over to figure out what was wrong started hugging me and consoling me and trying to make me feel better. Some of the guys in the class were like, wow, Dario, real classy, great. You're such a jerk. And then the other girls who had come over to figure out what was wrong originally went and got the teacher. They were like, Miss Teacher, Daria's bullying Adrian. And Daria got detention. And that was the first day I didn't get a scoop of popcorn for the popcorn jar because Daria had been mean to me and I don't want to reward her. So I went and got some candy. And kids gave her shit for it like all week because of it. And then most of the kids in our class just didn't want to hang out with her because she was mean to me and being mean to me jeopardized their popcorn party.
This girl literally tried to get with my boyfriend. I've literally never been so mad. As we all know, me and my boyfriend went on vacation to Las Vegas. And one of the things I really wanted to do while we were down there was to go ice skating. Now, the issue is that I'm really good at ice skating. My boyfriend is not good at ice skating at all. Like, he barely knows how to skate. So a lot of the times when we go ice skating, I'll skate by myself for like 10 minutes. And my boyfriend will just be like going around the ice rink really slow, like trying not to fall down. Just so that I can skate for a little bit and then I can help him because I love ice skating. Anyways, so we get to the ice rink. And me, my boyfriend, and 2 of my boyfriend's friends went with. So before we get on the ice, I tell my boyfriend that as soon as we get on, I'm gonna skate around for like 10 minutes and then I'll help him skate. He said, okay, that's fine, have fun. Cool, dope. So I get on the ice and I'm skating around for like 10 minutes. And after a while, I'm like, why haven't I seen my boyfriend? Where's my boyfriend at? So I look around trying to find him and then I see him skating with another girl. He was ice skating with some random girl. When I say my blood was boiling, I've never been this mad. So I go over to them and I like look at my boyfriend like, what are you doing? And he just gives me like this look. So I'm like, okay, come over here. We go to the side of the ice rink, and he's like, yo, this random girl just came up to me and told me that she wants to help me skate. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I've been looking for you this whole time. Like, she literally just randomly came up to me and said that she wanted to help me skate. He didn't want to seem rude, so we said okay. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whatever, like, whatever. But I will now help you skate. I will help you. Not her. Not her. So after that, me and my boyfriend are like skating around the rink a couple times. I'm helping him skate. We're having a cute little couple time. And all of a sudden, I see that little girl again. And I literally cannot believe she did this. Like, the nerve, the audacity. She skates on over to us. And she's like, hey, do you want me to help your boyfriend skate? That's my job. As his girlfriend, that's my job. Like, honey, I want to know where you got the audacity from. So I tell her, no, it's fine. Like, I'm helping him. And she skates away. I'm thinking, this is the last of her. She won't do anything else. No, I was wrong. We skate around for like 20 more minutes, and I was on my lady day, so I had to, do some situating in the bathroom. So I tell my boyfriend, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bath. He's like, okay, fine. I go to the bathroom. I come back out. My boyfriend is in the corner of the ice rink, like against the wall on the ice, and the girl's just standing there talking to him, and my boyfriend's just sitting there on his phone, like, God help me. So I go over there and I'm like, hey, what are y'all talking about? This girl just looks at me and then gets off the ice rink and leaves. Who are you and what's your problem? That is my boyfriend. And then my boyfriend basically told me that he was really weirded out and felt really uncomfortable. And nobody send him hate. We've been dating for 2 years. He's not a cheat. This was not him. This was just some weird girl who didn't understand respect. Not my boyfriend's fault. I'm literally about to pee my pants right now. I'm so screwed. So basically, I do online school, so I'm home, like, all day. And usually, I'm home alone because my dad's at work and then my sister's at public school. Well, yesterday, my dad told me that he was going out of town. He was going on a fun little vacation. And he told me that he was leaving in the morning, like today, this morning. But he never told me what time. Never told me what time he was leaving. So this morning, when I woke up, I figured he had already left to go to the airport. I didn't check his room to see if he was there or check to see if his car was in the driveway. I just assumed he was gone. So then I go into the kitchen, which is right next to my dad's room, and I call my friend, and we start talking about how we're gonna throw a party at my house while my dad's gone, and we're gonna have a lot of people over, and it's gonna get crazy. And then all of a sudden, my dad's bedroom door opens. My dad was home the whole time, and he heard everything I said. So now I'm grounded. I'm literally so embarrassed right now. Like, I'm gonna have to drop out of school. So basically, I do online school because I hate public school. I can't do it. So I do a cute little online school. Well, even though I've literally been doing it for almost 6 months now, I'm still not like 100% sure how to use the website. And the part of that website that I still don't really know how to work is the microphone. So I'm in class, 30 kids in that class, teacher included. My computer is sitting next to me on my bed. I'm just sitting in class, listening, having a good time. And then all of a sudden, my dog jumps on my computer. I didn't think that he unmuted my mic. I didn't think that he might have turned on my camera. I didn't think any of that. So when he jumps on my bed, I'm like, oh, good boy, and talking to him like a baby. Like, you guys know how you talk to your animals, like, oh, good boy, who's a good boy? Like, you baby talk your animal. Don't say you don't, because you do, but it's super embarrassing and you don't do it in front of people. I may have been baby talking my dog while my mic was unmuted in front of 30 kids. So I'm sitting there baby talking my dog, and then I just hear like my entire Zoom class go quiet, and I'm like, And then my teacher goes, Kayla, I'm gonna have you mute your mic. 30 kids and my teacher heard me baby talking my dog. I'm genuinely like so disgusted right now. I'm gonna have to drop out. Like, there's no other. What do I do? I'm gonna issue a public apology right now if you were in that class and heard. I'm sorry. You did not deserve to hear that. Nobody deserves to hear that when they're trying to learn about history.